Hi everyone, it's Kathy here from Del Bellows, and today we're going to be using the new release stencil from Sweet Poppy Stencils. It's a lovely, really lovely stencil. It's called Friend. It's so versatile. Whichever medium you use with it, it comes out great. I've used it with Element inks and the stencil paste, and today I'm going to be doing it with some Distress Oxide inks. And it's just such a pretty stamp. I can see me using this so much. I've already used it at least 20 times and I've only had it 4 days. So I know it's going to be a popular one in my house anyway. So it's a really simple card. It only takes about 10 minutes to make. It's not too complicated, but quite effective. So for this project, you're going to need some Distress Oxides in Seedless Preserves and Milled Lavender, some Sweet Poppy low tack stencil tape, piece of card that I cut 3 1/4 inches by 7.5 inches. Then I have some lilac backing card that I cut 3 1/2 inches by 7 3/4 inches. And then once mounted, I shall put that onto a card that's DL in size. On the video, when you watch the videos, all of Del Bellows videos, if you look underneath, there is some writing and it will say more. If you click on more, a drop-down box will appear with all of the products used, links to where you can get them from, and what size of cards and things that were used. So it's really useful if you want to know exactly how it's made. I've got a couple of stencil brushes here in a lilac and a pink. I have a couple of pencils in lilac and pink. I have a grey silver gel pen and a Wink of Stella brush. And I'm going to use one stamp today, and that is the Lavinia Flutterby. So let's get started. I'm going to start with my card. Now, if you're not comfortable using a small piece of card, this card is cut so that it just fits exactly. So there's no margin for error. And if you're not confident in having such a small piece of card, then you can use a bigger piece of card, and then once you've stenciled it and decorated it, you can then cut it down to the size that you want. I've chosen to do it this way because one of the things I like about this is I only have to put the stencil tape down both sides. I don't have to put it all the way around. So I'm just measuring it to get a rough idea of where the centre is, and then I'm going to put that down and keep it straight. Make sure that all my letters are in place. Yep. And I'm going to have a bit of stencil tape. When you put the tape on, just make sure it doesn't cover the leaves on the left or the little tick on the D on the right. So I'm just going to make sure that, there we go. So now that's covered, and the back, just checking to make sure it's all perfect. Then I'm going to begin stenciling. I'm going to start with the milled lavender. I don't try and mask bits off and do them in different colours. This is a really simple card, so I do the whole lot in one colour first, and then I add more colour afterwards. So I'll show you how it works. I'm just going to be using the milled lavender, and I'm going to cover the whole stencil in this one colour. I'm going to use a piece of acetate here. I've just got a small piece of acetate that I'm going to hold on so I don't accidentally cover what I've done. Oops. There we go. Right, now the milled lavender is done, I'm going to add some colour with the Seedless Preserves. And I'm going to start in the centre of the flower and work my way out. Now it doesn't matter if it goes on the leaves because we're going to colour them, but we don't want it to go on the part of the F. Go. So now I'm going to remove my stencil tape and lift my stencil and check it's all okay. Now if I was using stencil paste, I would be putting this straight away into a bowl of soapy water, but I'm not, so I'm just going to wipe it down with a wet cloth or a baby wipe and then dry it. So I'm just going to give it a bit of a clean. And give it a bit of a dry. There we go, that's all ready for the next one. Now I'm going to use the Flutterby with some seedless preserves and get a couple of little butterflies stamped onto here. And there we go. Now I'm going to use the colouring pencils. Let's put the lid back on there so it's out of the way. I'm going to use some colouring pencils. I'm going to use the darker lilac or purple around the centre of the flower. So it's just about a third of the way up. Just going to add a little bit more colour. And I'm just going to do the outside of the butterflies. And a little bit in the centre of the butterflies with the pink. Now I'm going to use my silver gel pen. I'm just going to need to give it a bit of a rub. Nope, it's not going to work for me. Give it. coming out a bit now, so might start coming. I just want to get a very light silver colour over the leaves. And then using the wink of Stella, that little shake. I think mine might need replacing. I've used it an awful lot lately. Just going to add a little bit of shimmer over the leaves. Just adds a very subtle shimmer. There we go. So once that's dry, you should be able to see a very faint shimmer on the little leaves and on the butterflies. Now that's taken about 10 minutes to do. It's really that simple. It's so effective. It's such a feminine and pretty card. So I'm going to stick the back down. Oops. Stick it onto the purple, make sure I'm fairly central. I always find this tricky to do, sitting down with the camera in the way, but I'll do my best. And again, make sure we're fairly straight. And there we have it. A really, really effective, simple card that I know I'm going to use this so much. I really, really love it. So thank you so much for watching. Before you go, I just want to show you a couple that I did earlier, which I did this one in a stencil paste, which gives it a raised feeling, and I did that with watercolours. This one was done with some yellow oxide and some green with some, and this one, actually this one's got a little bit of a dirty mark on, I'm afraid, but if you didn't want to have a butterfly or something, you just wanted it completely plain, that would look just as well. Well, thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already done so, please consider joining our Facebook groups. We have 2 Facebook groups, which are Del Bellows Designs Lounge for all products that are Lavinia based, and we also have Del Bellows a la carte lounge, and that's where you'll find things like Sweet Poppy stencils and cardio stamps, etc. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you next time. Thank you. Bye-bye.